on here. And then moving into the second module, it's just going to be a quick little recap. I'm going to be quizzing you on what Lillian presented, so I hope you guys were awake for that. No, but kind of recapping and really connecting why what we do at the farm level is allowing us to bring you such plant concentrates that are really high in those phytonutrients that we're so proud of. And then lastly, now having all of this in your tool belt knowledge, how are we going to use that now to power your business? So with nutritional health, I feel like majority of us, when we talk about nutrition and foods, we break it into our major macronutrients. So we're talking about our fats, our carbohydrates, which include our fibers, and our proteins. And if we even want to break it down a little further than that, we're now talking into our micronutrients. So we're looking at our minerals and our vitamins. But the question comes into play essentially, where are these phytonutrients coming in that breakdown? So we're bringing it old school, and we're going to even start with just breaking down the actual word phytonutrient and what it means. So yeah, so we're bringing it down to grammar and vocabulary. Phyto means in Greek plant, and then nutrient is a substance that provides nourishment that is essential for maintenance of life and for growth. So when you put them together, phytonutrient literally means plant nutrient. And when we're talking about plants here, we're really honing in on those fruits and vegetables. So when we were younger, or maybe now we might even have kids of our own, and we're really trying to get them to eat those fruits and vegetables, I promise it's all for a good reason and for a good cause. And so our vegetables, they're going to contain those phytonutrients. So let's dive into essentially why we care about these phytonutrients and what the studies say they do. So studies show that phytonutrients they help reduce the free radicals that grow in abundance in our bodies. So they're really acting as that neutralizer. And we don't like free radicals. They're caused by oxidative stress. And some examples here on the board you see is just from lack of proper nutrition. We might be eating too much of that junk food and not really getting our healthy leafy greens. That exposure to alcohol and smoking, sun exposure, and then going in a little more is even the water and the air pollution. So all of this stuff is providing stress for our bodies, and it's creating an abundance of free radicals. And those free radicals are essentially going to then damage our cells and then long-term damage our health. So through this research, we're able to say that phytonutrients really do provide those health benefits, and they counteract that in our bodies and create like a nice equilibrium balance. And to kind of show you an example of what phytonutrients do to our bodies, this apple was cut in half in the morning, and one was covered with lemon juice. And as you can see, this one has no browning, but the one that wasn't covered in lemon juice has browned. So to kind of give you like a metaphor and analogy of what's happening, those phytonutrients are essentially protecting us from those free radicals in our bodies as well. Does that make sense?
Wow.
Yeah, awesome.
Perfect.
Who wants to eat that later? Okay. So as I said earlier, we're breaking it down into our macronutrients and our micronutrients, and now we're going even smaller than that, micro. And so phytonutrients, they don't get talked about as much just because they aren't really a huge part of the food category, but just because they aren't a huge part and they're in small amounts does not mean that they can't have such a huge impact on our bodies. So studies show that as few as just five...
Can I ask, sorry, you made me
Yeah, of course.
I know when he first identified these things, he didn't know what they were called, and he called them Nutrilite. When did science identify them? Was there a time in history when phytonutrients was identified as an actual thing?
I think, if I'm stand corrected, we were the ones that came up with the word or identified that in our research of phytonutrients.
It's becoming mainstream in the last 20 years, but I mean, 80 years ago, it wasn't even around.
Right.
Yeah, 80 years ago we called it associated food factors. That's what Carl called it way back in the day. Phytonutrients is relatively recent, over the last like 20 years, and we were early on, we hung on to that term.
I remember the last tour I was on, Bill Dobrowski said that he called them Nutrilite. That was what he first called them. Nutrilite was the term for phytonutrients.
Right.
And then hence came up with the name, because he didn't know what to call them. Associated food factors was like, I was after it. I hope you watched that. I watched it on video 10 times. Yeah, I remember that clearly. it's really cool how it
Right, so
60 years later it actually gets identified as a word.
exactly. I think there's a lot of things in science as well that we're just first researching. We might not have a mainstream name for it, but as Bob said, we then eventually came to the term of phytonutrients. All right. Well, thanks for that question. But as I was saying, as few as 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, that's going to allow us to get those benefits. And studying fruits and vegetables, we see that there are over 1,000 different distinct phytonutrients identified in these fruits and vegetables. And so what we're looking at here is the benefits that come from these different phytonutrients, and they range from your head to your toe. We're talking about your brain health, your eye vision, your heart health, your cellular system, and your skeletal system. But unfortunately, through research, we're seeing that globally there is a gap when it comes to meeting that minimum 5 servings of vegetables and fruit a day. And so 3 out of 4 people globally are not meeting that minimum requirement. And if you're not getting that minimum dose, then we won't be able to reap all those benefits that those phytonutrients and minerals and vitamins can provide for us. So on average, the plate of a person that isn't meeting all those servings, it's looking a little bit more like this. So I know I love my carbohydrates, but we have to intentionally try to fill that plate up more with fruits and vegetables. So I understand we love our potatoes, our pastas, our breads, and all that good stuff, but it's not really leaving much room on our plate for protein, and then even smaller portion of that is going to fruits and vegetables. So what we can try to do is have our plate look more half fruits and vegetables, and you still have plenty of room on the other side of the plate to fill that up with your whole grains, your carbohydrates, and your proteins. And so we're looking at having about 5 to 9 servings a day, which is about 400 grams of fruits or vegetables a day. And one thing to note, the sunrise to the sunset, no matter what time of the day, we're really trying to have, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you're aiming to have your plate look like that, and always wanting to get a serving in there of fruits and vegetables. So we, as someone that we have busy lives, our schedules are crazy, what can we do just every day to help improve and kind of get more to looking like those 5 to 9 servings? So here I have an awesome display of our different fruits and vegetables, which I'm going to try not to drop. But as you can see, what we can do ourselves is really in the morning, in breakfast, at lunch, at dinner, is just try to get that one extra serving. If you're already doing a great job and you're getting 2 to 3 per meal, try to go that extra mile and just grab one more serving in there. And one thing to note as well is that we're trying to have a plethora of colors, so we're not just sticking to our greens or our reds or our purples. We really want to get all the colors in there. So our blues, and that's actually what I'm going to talk to you about next. So we're dividing, this is the phyto color wheel, and we're dividing fruits and vegetables by their color. And we're researching and realizing that within those colors, we're noticing in the purples, there's one phytonutrient that is more common than if it were in the oranges or the greens. And something to note is that in general, we're finding, obviously there are exceptions, and Lillian talked about that a little bit, and I'll mention it again. But in general, we're seeing that the darker vegetables and fruits, like our purples and our reds, are showing richer content in phytonutrients. But not to say that the greens and the whites and the oranges don't have those phytonutrients as well, because they do. So let's start off with the white fruits and vegetables group. So here we're seeing phytonutrients such as allicin, and that's known to promote bone and joint health. So an easy way to kind of remember that is, our whites and then our bones are white inside, so that's just kind of an easy color reference for you. And so here we're looking at our onions, our garlic, our cauliflower, Chinese chives, and etc. Now moving into the orange fruits and vegetables group, those are going to be high in your beta-carotenes and your hesperin. And that, through research, shows that that's going to promote your eye health. So here we're looking at our carrots, our yellow peppers, our oranges, and your Chinese cabbage. Now moving into the red fruit group, we're looking at phytonutrients such as lycopene and ellagic acid, and that's going to help promote your heart health. So that's another easy one to reference together because your heart is red, and then thinking, okay, the red fruits and vegetables are really going to have those phytonutrients and help me promote that heart health. And then here's a fun one. We have the purple fruits and vegetables, and this one I don't have a fun reference. I don't think our brains are purple, but it's going to help promote your brain health. But they do have studies show that the purple fruits and vegetables are going to be high in those anthocyanin levels. And so here we're looking at our purple grapes. We even have some purple carrots, plums, eggplant. And then lastly, I feel like this color, what we're most familiar with is your greens. And that one is going to be high in isoflavones and lutein, and we're looking at those phytonutrients are help promoting cellular health. And this one's easy ones to list off. We have our broccoli, our spinach, our Brussels sprouts. And so now you might all be wondering, okay, so Nutrilite was pioneer in phytonutrient research. We've identified that they have health benefits. But how are we getting those phytonutrients and then putting them into the supplements that you are now consuming or selling to your other consumers? So what we do is after we harvest from, if it's not coming from our organic farms, what Lillian said, our NutriCert certified farms, we're getting those botanicals, those fruits, those vegetables, and we're extracting and removing the fiber and the water. So what you're left with is this plant concentrate, and it's extremely potent in phytonutrients. So this is our berry blend, and this is just one of over the 170 Nutrilite plant concentrates that are used in all of the Nutrilite supplements. And then just to give you an idea, so this you're looking at a measurement for chromatography, and this is just blueberries that were screened and fingerprinted, so just like our own DNA, we can do that for all botanicals. And what you're seeing here is each of these peaks is showing you a different phytonutrient that is within the blueberries. And then how high the peak is and how wide the peak is showing you just how rich and dense in that specific phytonutrient is in those blueberries. So here you can see we have a variety of multiple different phytonutrients in blueberries. And just to kind of give you an idea of just how potent our plant concentrates are, you would have to consume, or want to say this is about a cup, you'd have to consume 33 cups of berries in order to meet the same amount of phytonutrient content found in our berry blend plant concentrate. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't think I can eat 33 cups of berries in a day, or let alone a week. I don't even think I want to try. I might turn blue. But I would much rather take, a teaspoon of the plant concentrate that's found across all of our supplements brands, and I can rest assured that that is what's helping me reach and fill that gap. Does anyone want to try? Take 33 cups of blueberries.
Imagine how much they cost.
Yeah. So what essentially I'm getting at here is we can rest easy that Nutrilite supplements can help you fill that gap. So not to say that we still can't, we're not eating any of our fruits and vegetables, we're just gonna have our supplements. We're still trying to really reach and achieve that minimum 5 daily servings of fruits and vegetables. But if we're not able to meet that, just because I know myself included, we're running around like crazy, doing errands, we can know that taking these supplements is really helping us go the extra mile so that we are now looking to be within the 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables daily. So as I mentioned earlier, we have over 170 different plant concentrates, and those are going to range in all those benefits from your bones, your cellular system, your brain health, etc. And what we do is we run a fingerprint on all of those different plant concentrates. And so just to kind of show you how broad our portfolio is, it is showing that we have over 500 beneficial, distinct, different phytonutrients within our supplements brand. So across all of our vitamins that we have available to you, that's how many different phytonutrients are available. So that was the first module. Now